This last one is the Science Education for Public Understanding Program, or CPUP. My district actually uses CPUP in a different things. Um, they are a they provide a science-based curriculum, um, and they do a great job. Their big focus is on problem-based curriculum, and so if you click on the link, you can go to their site and see the different resources. There's physical science and biology, and there's specific modules, and those are specific lessons, units, and or you could do the whole curriculum that focuses on a real-world problem. For example, for the biology one, which I've used in my class, half of or basically the first quarter spent on the problem of understanding the spread of infectious disease. How can we reduce infectious disease? And so you start learning about what are bacteria, what are microorganisms, how do they replicate? And these are all content things that we're learning all working towards that problem. So it's a great resource whether you just need an idea in terms of a specific unit, or if you'd like to kind of go all in and go with a full problem-based curriculum. It's a great resource to kind of get you started. And this final one here on the bottom here is a planning sheet. This is a planning sheet that I developed based on the previous research. I talk about the 8 essential components to creating a PBL lesson, and just a way to kind of, for me, I like to still paper pencil plan as much as possible. So it's all around in the middle here, based around what content they need to learn and what skills, 21st century skills, they're going to use, which were those first two of those 8 components. From there, they like that connection. Why do they want to know this? What is that driving question that they work around? What choices would they possibly have that you might see this? This is really good, especially thinking back to maybe potential supplies and materials. It's good to, as a teacher beforehand, to think about potential avenues just to help make sure you're planned and ready. What kind of research are they going to need to do? That critique and revision, how are you going to be providing feedback and discussion? Is it going to be just with the groups? Are they going to have to do some sort of draft? And then finally, the public audience, which really, I said earlier, was a very, very important part. Just talking about who is this for? Because it should be for more than just the teacher. The more realistic you can make it, the better. And then I provide some space down here for teacher reflection for myself, especially because I like to reflect upon from year to year about what went well, more importantly, what didn't go well, and so I don't make that mistake again the next following year. So using these resources and this research, I basically came up with my first official project-based learning lesson, and it's on energy for my physical science class. In the past, I've taught I've never really liked how I've done energy. It almost seemed it was too abstract, and it was too textbook-like, and the kids were not very motivated or engaged, which I don't blame them, because I wasn't doing a very good job of making it relevant to them. And so what I did here was a much more relevant one, talking about energy efficiency within their house, within their home. And this is much more relevant for them, and would be much more of a need to know, because, well, besides the fact that they will eventually be homeowners, their parents are homeowners and are always looking ways to save and go more green, save more energy, and hopefully save more money. And so I kind of went through the steps here of from my planning sheet for each one of them, just really quickly. And then from the student's perspective, they're going to basically see it kind of in, even though there's all 8 for the teacher, they're going to kind of see it in this aspect here. What they're going to be is they're going to be a consulting company, and they are going company that consults families on how to become more energy efficient and thus save money in their homes. And so what they're going to be doing is they're going to be giving client families those client families have specific living arrangements and a budget, and they're going to need to create a proposal or create and present a proposal to that family of how they can be more energy efficient within their budget, both short-term efficient and long-term efficient, because some some improvements might be only short-term, but some may have a high cost in the beginning, but long-term can save money. So they'll have to take all these things into consideration. So they're going to be given their question. They're going to be there's going to be an investigation about what they need to do. What causes loss of energy in the home. The cost efficiency. Do some math to kind of see long-term versus short-term, 5-10 years later. Is it still efficient? During that process too, I think I'm actually going to, as part of the critique and revision, I'm going to see if I can have some fellow teacher volunteers actually be the clients, and during the process meet with the groups or meet with their group and maybe throw a wrench here and there, saying that they actually can only do $8,000 in renovations, not 10, or be very picky about the renovations, just to kind of give it more of a real world feel. And in the very end, they're going to have to create some sort of proposal or presentation and give it to or present it to the families, and hopefully that their project would be accepted by that family and for their company. So I have over here an example of maybe the family details, and then some of the information that they might have in terms of cost to install and annual energy savings. So this was kind of my going through the process of the things that I've learned, but always then at the very end tying it back to those standards and skills that we want our students to have, whether it's the content, the ones on energy and energy transfer based on the next generation science standards, and really focusing on those 21st century skills. I mean, that's why I picked project-based learning, was because of how perfectly matched and how easily it works with the implementation of 21st century skills and project-based learning. So the idea of my lesson there, students are going to have to have a creative solution to the problem. They're going to have to communicate with the families, collaborate with each other to figure out, does the math work? Does it fit in the budget? Does it fit with the environment they live in? All those, and then critical thinking, problem solving. If I throw them, we don't want any high long-term costs or anything like that. So critical thinking of how to solve those problems. So I finally hope to share all of this and kind of put it all together in my reflection section about everything I learned, and put it all together about what the 21st century skills and how it relates to project-based learning. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you can enjoy looking at my personal learning network and my website, just about my journey personally, and also just about ways that you can implement it using that plan sheet. Is a great way. Please take advantage in using it, just to kind of help you think it through the process. The more you can plan, the better off it is. All the research I read shows that 90% of your work is going to be before you even start. So making sure you're thinking about as every possibility as possible is a great idea. All right. Thank you very much.